step that many people say is a step which is against freedom. It is against the freedom of women to choose whether they want to be veiled or not to be veiled.
France is the host country to 5 million Muslim people who enjoy freedom of exercise of their religion, and they are part of the national community. Number two, you talked about veiling, and I think veiling is not the appropriate word. People are free to wear a veil in the public space in France, but what we are talking about is people who would wear a dress which consists in concealing their face to the others. Where are we now? The parliament, the lower house, the National Assembly, has passed a law, but it comes from a national debate which has been opened by our president and which have given rise to the creation of an information committee of the parliament, which unanimously decided that such a law was of the order. Why? Because women in France have been fighting for centuries for their freedom, for non-discrimination, for equality, for the possibility to have a normal social life, and we have to protect this freedom against sections of communities who pretend to impose on them a regressive agenda. That is a law which is aimed at protecting liberty.
Okay, it's a law aimed at protecting liberty. Well, Your Excellency, as you know, we're going to throw this open for debate out here. It's a debate that has been raging in France. Let's start the debate here. Tariq Bokhari, do you agree with him? It's a step at protecting liberty.
I don't agree with His Excellency and the country's decision. This creates a further division in the hearts of Muslims and the French community. It is against the freedom of religion. Veil is not, somebody is not imposing a veil on anybody. If I'm wearing it and if any woman is wearing it, so it's a freedom of...
Okay. Your Excellency, you're trying to interrupt.
We are not talking about the veil.
He's talking about the complete burqa, the niqab.
Complete burqa or niqab, yes.
Except niqab, the veil, the coverage, and you can say burqa without a niqab, then it's okay, because we have different, we have 4 imams, and Imam Hanbali and Shafi and Maliki. And so in one of views, the niqab is must, but the other 3, they agree that without niqab it's okay. So we follow all the imams and we are agree on that.
So one sec. So what you're saying is that in case, and that's what he says, that it's only somebody completely covering their face, which is something which is forbidden, which is going to be banned there. So you're saying it's not necessarily against Islam, and you would agree with him on that?
Yeah, I agree on that.
You agree on that point?
I agree on that. It's not necessarily necessary to cover your face half or full.
So to that extent, it's not something which goes against Islam. So Sariana, that is an interesting point, and I'm glad Tariq Bokhari has actually said that. He says that it's not that the women who will be prevented from wearing a full burqa or a full niqab, it's not that is necessarily something against Islam, because as he said, 3 imams do say a half veil is acceptable.
Yes, in India, in fact, and in South Asia, mostly people follow the Hanafi law, and that clearly does not really impose, there is no face covering. However, I would like to make my position clear on this.
And it's not entirely on the grounds of Islam and whether it's allowed or not.
I don't, I really have a problem that every time there is a debate on the veil or the niqab, we really go into a religious discourse on the Quran and the Sunnah and the Hadith.